Shih Tzus are a precious little lap dog that have won the hearts of so many. Could this be the right breed of dog for you? My passionate goal is to help the average dog owner have a well-behaved dog without having to become a professional dog trainer. Picking the right dog prevents dogs from being abandoned, rehomed, or put down. This first starts with picking the right breed of dog. I'm Jenna, a busy homeschool mom of 4. I have owned and rescued many dogs. We currently have 2 dogs, and we are raising a third to be my personal service dog. I'm going to walk you through the process of how we decided, my family and I, how we chose our sweet little Joy, who is a Shih Tzu, how we chose her. Let's get to this. This is my process. Alrighty. Let's see. There's Canva. There we go. This is a live stream. It's going to have little bumps and humps. That's all right. We're going to work through this. So, are you a Shih Tzu person? This is a really important question to ask if you think you want one, because like any dog, you've got to figure that out. And, but before you decide on if this breed is right for you or where you're going to get it, you need to ask yourself these 4 things. You need to go through the 4 W's: the why, the who, the where, and are you willing? And I'm going to explain each of these W's. And we'll get into looking into all the little... Well, yoink. She just yoinked her bed. What? No, you can't eat it. It's new. There you go. Where's your bone? What happened to your bone? Oh my goodness. Y'all, let me know in the chat if you're dealing with crazy dogs. Oops. I accidentally messed something up. Mr. Editor. Oh, there we go. Can I help you? We're not gonna do that. All right, guys. Nope, just crazy kids. Yeah, sounds about right. You. All right. Woo, microphone bump. Mr. Editor Man, Mr. Sounds About Light, my wonderful hubby, could you please turn the AC down 1 degree? It is stuffy on this end of the house. That would be wonderful. Let's get back into it now that I've gotten the dogs You're just gonna yoink the bed. And you're just gonna get on the desk. No, we're not eating the bed. Don't make me have to preach you. You were being so well behaved earlier. This is the thing about live streaming with dogs. Thank you, sir. What if I give you butt scratches, huh? Will you stop messing with the bed if I give you butt scratches? Yeah? All right. So butt scratches it is. Okay. So the 4 W's. The why, the who, the where, the willing. We got to ask ourselves these things before we even look into the breed of the dog, where we're going to get the dog. We got to focus in on that. Because when you're looking at the breed of dog, you're going to have to evaluate those things. So the why. Why do you want a dog? Do you want companionship? Do you want a job, a task? Are you getting a dog for protection? Are they to help a dog in need? Is your motivation just to get a dog out of the shelter, which is noble, but we got to evaluate the why. Is it just because you believe every house needs a dog and that's just what you believe and you grew up with a dog, but you're not really a dog person? This is a really important why, because certain breeds align with these different wants and the whys. The who. We got to ask ourselves the who. Before we start looking at these cute little dogs, Shih Tzus are amazing. They're cute. They're adorable. But who? Who is the dog for? Who also lives in the house? And who will care for the dog? We got to answer these who's. The where. Where do you live? Do you live in a hot climate, a cold climate? Do you live in an apartment? Do you live in a house? Do you live in the country? Do you live in the city? Where do you live? Top story, bottom story. Where do you live? Apartment, flat, condo. Where will the dog sleep? Kennel, bedroom, outside. I know somebody out there is going to get upset about the outside question, but depending on what the purpose of the dog was, the why you want the dog, this is an important factor to consider. This does not affect our breed of dog as far as outside. You should not be putting a Shih Tzu outside to sleep. But, you know, this is an important question to always ask. If you want a dog that is outside, you need to think about this. And then where will the dog stay when you're out of time? Out of town. Where will the dog stay? Where will the dog be? Where will the dog be when they are alone? Where? You need to ask all these questions. I kind of went out of order, but you get the point. Where will the dog be? Willing. The last 4, and I think honestly the most important of the 4 W's is the willing. What are you willing to do? And what I mean by willing is this. How much time are you willing to spend on caring for the dog? What are you willing to train? Are you willing to deal with a lot of shedding? Are you willing to groom or to pay for a groomer? What kind of care are you willing to do? What kind of activities are you willing to do? I don't have those listed, but I do have that listed on the next page. Forgot I made this into a second page. What are you willing to spend on the dog? Different sized dogs have different costs. Different breeds of dogs have different needs. Some dogs do better on different types of foods. Some dogs have health issues. So we gotta think about that. What are you willing? That's not for you. Thank you, ma'am. What do I mean by what am I willing to train? Do you mean a breed of dog? Well, yeah. What are you willing to train the dog? Like certain dogs need certain types of training. Certain breeds of dogs need reactivity training. Some dogs need to be trained not to bark. Some dogs, and there's different training that needs to go with different breeds of dogs. Some dogs need minimal training. Some dogs need a lot of training. So what are you willing to train? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to put in the effort that goes in with certain dogs? Labs need to be trained not to eat the house because labs are notorious chewers. That kind of thing. Let's see. Are you willing to care for the size of dog's messes? So a small dog is going to have a smaller mess. A big dog, the bigger the dog, gianter the dog, the bigger the mess is going to be. So are you willing to scoop up Great Dane poop? What are you willing to do? Obviously, we're talking about Shih Tzus, so their little messes are small. Are you willing to put up with their quirks? Every breed of dog, I don't care what kind of breed it is, every breed of dog has their own type of quirk. And it's what makes the dog lovable and cute. But what I think is lovable and cute, you may not think is lovable and cute. You may think it's highly annoying. So what kind of quirks are, oh, I think that's cute? What kind of quirks are, I can live with that? And what kind of quirks are, nope, that's a deal breaker. You need to have this in mind when you're researching a breed. This is pre-researching the breed thought process. We want to get this in our brain as we're looking for the dog because this will help us determine if we are the right kind of person for whatever breed we are looking at. Thank you. You may not have that. Oops. She's just gonna bring me stuff. She brought me a shoe. Yeah. Thank you. I think as I've been teaching her to not pick up stuff on the floor and eat it, I think she's decided that it's her job to find things on the floor and bring them to me. I think that's what she's decided her job is. Are you willing to do the exercise level? Oops. Hi. Settle. No. Hi. Hi. Knock it off. Sit. On your bottom. Sit. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. So one of the things that I do when Chloe gets a little crazy is I will have a redirect thing that we're gonna that we do, and then I praise her for doing that and basically get her mind off of whatever it was that she was doing. So that's what you just saw there. Let's see. Are you willing to do the level of exercise that is required, or pay to be done for the dog? What do I mean by this? So certain dogs are a little bit more expensive if you're going to really do their outlets. So if you get a breed that's really high energy and needs to be doing sports and things like that, that gets a little expensive. Agility gets expensive. Fielding with a hunting dog gets expensive. Those kinds of things are, that's time consuming. That's money. Are you willing to put the time and energy into that? And if you want that kind of energy level, if you want that kind of activity, and you're looking at a dog and they're not into it, maybe that dog's not right for you. Because if you take a dog that is not motivated by sports and make them a sport dog, they're going to be miserable. So we need to just, what exercises are we at? So those are our 4 W's. So we're going to keep this in mind. I just want you to have this in your brain. We're not necessarily answering all these questions right yet. You might have some of them, like the who, the where. Those probably are already coming to your brain. But are you willing to deal with certain quirks? Some of those are going to come up and some of those are not. I'm assuming grooming and shedding needs are probably going to start coming up. Where you live, you're going to start answering those immediately. But some things you're not going to really know the answer to until you start researching the dog. So how do we research into the dog? Where do we start? How do we determine, now that we've got our 4 W's, how do we determine if a Shih Tzu, the breed of the day, that is the right breed of dog for you? I'm going to tell you, it's not the best breed for me. And I have one sitting in my lap. But we're going to get into how we landed on her being right for the family, because that's part of our who. So we're going to go to a Kennel Club website first. And I am going to web browser. Look at that. Is that working right? I have no idea, but we're gonna assume that it is. So I'm going to go to the American Kennel Club. You can go if you're in Canada. Canada has its own kennel club. There are many other kennel clubs, so don't you worry. You can look into the kennel club that is in your area. I like the American Kennel Club. Oh, thank you. Sounds About Light for saying that. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to go to the American Kennel Club. We're going to select our breed. Now we could go scrolling through alphabetically, but who has time for such annoying things? Shih Tzu. We're going to pull that up. And they have resources for helping you find the right puppy, by the way. Something to keep in mind. And we got a cute little... All right, so up here we've got playful, affectionate, and outgoing. And they're in the toy group, which I can say that Joy is definitely playful, and she's definitely affectionate, and she's definitely outgoing. So do you want an outgoing dog? Here we go. We've got our size, the height, the weight, and the life expectancy. So she, depending on how healthy, they can live 10 to 18 years. They're about 9 to 16 pounds. I like to, you can go through all of these, but I like to just go to all traits. And we're going to exit this little video out right here so we can see what we're doing more closely. And guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Let me know if you have a dog, want a dog, are thinking about a dog, have dogs and are thinking about another dog and you probably shouldn't be, or, you know, whatever. Just let me know. We have 3 dogs, okay? 2 are hanging out with me. The other one is hanging out by herself. She has an injured eye and we do not want her to get it more hurt playing rough house with the puppy. So just that's where we're at with that. Let's see. So how affectionate are they with the family? So they have lovey-dovey all the way down to independent. So they are very affectionate. Good with children, good with young children. This is very important if you have kids. Again, we're back to our who. And generally speaking, I'm just from the research that I've done, if you're looking for a dog that is going to be good, excuse me. Thank you. Again, I think she's just bringing me stuff. She was like, that's not supposed to be there. Mom doesn't like stuff on the floor. I'm going to bring it to her. One of the things, if you're looking for a dog that's good for elderly people, I have found that often that the dogs that are good for elderly people coincide with the dogs that are good for young children. Obviously, this is not a hard and fast rule, but it's a really good way to kind of go, okay, yeah, they're probably good. Okay, so they're very good with young children. They're good with other dogs. They don't really shed. They need a lot of grooming. Now, this is a lie. They need daily grooming. Like, they have, like, maintenance. Like, oh my jeez. Drooling. Not heavy droolers. They've got a double coat, long coat length, openness to strangers, playfulness, watchdog nature. Okay, I would like to push back, like, does this look like a watchdog to you? Yes, I know you are a watchdog. All right, you need to get off. Thank you. Good. Okay. Anyways, so they're excuse me. Thank you. All right, so they're adaptable. Excuse me. Hi. Sit. Down. Your butt is on your bed frame. Are you having issues? Can we down? Okay, here, let's. Okay. You don't start fights, Missy. Oh, you're just gonna misbehave for the live stream. All right, cool. Because kids and dogs. She does I'm making a joke. She does alert a little bit, but she alerts more in the, oh my gosh, hey, there's somebody here. Like, I would like to play. So if you're talking about an alert, yeah. Is she protective? Me. So, because they actually have watchdog / protective nature. So I'm just kind of, that's my thought. I do know that we're going to get into this, but I do know that they can be possessive of their people. So that can get into the protective. Are you feeling ignored? All right, off. Thank you. All right. So they're adaptable. I would say so. So here we go. This is, again, the where. This, how easily the breed handles change, living conditions, weather, noise, daily schedule, variations in day-to-day life. So they're very adaptable. So, you know, think about the weather. Trainability, energy level, they're a medium energy dog, okay? Barking level, kind of medium. Mental stimulation, medium. Yeah, I know. I actually was afraid of Shih Tzus growing up. So, y'all are gonna make me walk back the overprotective thing, aren't you? You're gonna make me walk it back. Okay, I think it depends on the dog. All right. So then we can get into the about the breed. So they like to wiggle and mischief, and there's a lot of like good information, their health, grooming. So yeah, the owners can be a little neurotic too. Okay. You're gonna get me in trouble with the people, aren't you? Sounds about light. All right, Ryan. Let's see. Okay. So I already know a lot about this breed, so I'm gonna... Yes, it does depend on the owner. You're right. Okay. Now I've lost my train of thought. Okay. So basically, first let's go back to our slide. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Now Canva, y'all. Now Canva, y'all. I'm gonna get banned for singing. Okay. Let's see. Can y'all see what that says? All right. Go to the Kennel Club website. And then we're going to look at books, blogs, and videos about the breed. Go to Facebook and look at Facebook groups for that breed of dog. This is probably going to be your most insightful window into what owning that type of dog is like. Because I'm going to put this out there. When you start looking on Pinterest, when you start looking into YouTube videos on Our Shih Tzu's a Good Dog, you'll get cute little, oh, Our Shih Tzu's the worst dog ever blogs and videos. And then they'll just talk about how wonderful the dog is. If you want to see their quirks, go to Facebook and look at the Facebook groups. Because when you start doing that, you're going to find out some of their little temperament issues. So we're going to go to Facebook. All right. Okay. Wow. Apparently I am, crap. We didn't make sure, and I just closed my browser. Mr. Editor, man, I need help. I broke my stream. Actually, is it still on Canva? It's on Canva, so y'all can't see what I did. So it's okay. But a lot of times you're gonna find those Shih Tzu groups, those Shih Tzu fan pages, and they're gonna talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of the breed. Like, they're going to talk about, you know, that they're picky eaters. You're not necessarily going to see that in a blog post. Like, I'm just going to be real. Depends on the Facebook group. A lot of Facebook groups are open. So I closed the browser by accident, and we forgot to make sure that Facebook was logged into my Busy with Dogs profile. So yeah.
I need this one, I need this one, I need... Hi.
Off. She's a pup and training.
I need this one.
Also, like, it's really, really hard to take care of Shih Tzu's teeth. Like, they are prone to dental problems. Back to the YouTube videos, though. One of the things I found very helpful, and this is the tip that is and the going on on the next page, the next slide, I talk about, you know, going to groomers and vets and can I switch slides while you're doing that?
In a second.
In a second. Because I'm talking about my next slide. Slide.
Start singing again. Alright, there's that.
Thank you.
And
We got a naked baby. Yeah.
let me go to your web browser, and then we've got to fix it. Get down.
Off. The joys of live streaming. What happened to your clothes, sir?
There.
Okay, is it working? Can you
Yes.
see my browser? Settle. Okay. Oh no, my baby's crying. What are you doing? Hi. No, off. Thank you. Good girl. Okay. So let's see. So we're on Facebook. And we're just gonna type in Shih Tzus. And if I can spell, that would be good. All right, thank you, sweet urban living. My mama, just for those of you who don't know, that's mother. Okay. Okay. So if you just type in and you start scrolling, you're probably going to see some dogs for sale posts. Oh, those are mine. Well. So there's a meme about them. So you're going to do a little searching. But you'll start to see owners posting videos and memes about the breed. And when you start doing that, you're going to start seeing a lot of breed quirks. All right, here's a good one. What's the most surprising thing you've learned about Shih Tzu since getting one? Okay, so now we're just going to go to the comments and see what people have to say. They can really change colors. The constant closeness, unconditional love, loyalty, devotion, and funny antics. Personality. Okay, great. Personality. They're stubborn, demanding, bossy, and very independent. This is very interesting because when we went to AKC, they didn't show up as very independent. So their attachment, it borders on obsession. So typically the breed standard is going to be, they're going to be a Velcro dog. So meaning they're dog that wants to be close with you. Some breeders call it in your pocket, kind of thing. How intelligent they are. Let's see. So that's a really good resource. So let's see. Oh, those babies are cute. So that's one resource that you have. If you're looking into the breed, just take time and go through that. Also, if you're looking at a breeder or a rescue, go to the reviews on Facebook and start scouring through them. Go Facebook stalker on them and see if they're legit. Like, that is one way that I like to, anyways, that I'm getting ahead of myself. So, back to our slide. So go to Facebook, look at the groups. What are the owners saying? Okay, so we've got that. Research the dog trainers. What are dog trainers saying about the breed? Also, it wouldn't hurt to find one in your area. Okay, so let's pull up our browser again. And let's see. Web browser. There we go. We got it. And we are going to do a search. All right. I'm just gonna do this. Do dog trainers like Shih Tzus? Let's see what they have to say. So we can go to Dogster, we can read an article, sweet and loving, full of charm, playful, start early. Hey Sherry, thanks for dropping in. So this is more of an advice. This isn't really like a dog trainer's opinion on them. Ultimate Guide to Dealing with the Little Lion, which by the way, Shih Tzu means little lion in, I believe, Mandarin. And that's another thing is when you're doing your AKC search and you're doing your in-depth search about the breed, look into the breed's history. What was their purpose? Always look at the purpose of the dog and how old is the breed. Because some breeds are newer and some breeds are older, and some breeds have like they've kept to their original purpose and they haven't been really domesticated and they're still pretty wild, while others are very like Shih Tzus were bred to be lap dogs. That's what they were bred to do. That's all they care to do. So if you want a dog that's a lap dog, so okay, that's what you want. If you want a hiking buddy, guys, I'm sorry, not necessarily your kind of dog. Now you could get a little backpack or something to put them in, but then are they going to overheat? Now look at this double coat. This fur grows and does not stop growing. You have to trim it. It's a lot of work. Which brings me to hold on. Am I getting ahead of myself? Let's see. Okay. So look into dog trainers. What are dog trainers saying about it? Now, not all dog trainers are going to have a strong opinion. You may not necessarily find a dog trainer's opinion on a breed if it's a pretty well-loved breed. But if you're talking about Chihuahuas, Dobermans, yeah, they were bred to be Velcro dogs. They were literally bred by Tibetan monks to sit in the lap of royalty, like in an emperor's lap. That's exactly what they were bred to do. That's the only thing they've ever been bred to do. And so I actually think they may be one of one or two dogs that were bred to truly be a lap dog. Like they were never bred to be a terrier, like go after rats or anything like that. So they don't have strong prey drive. They don't have work drive. They're not bred to work at all. Which is not true of all little dogs. A lot of little dogs are purpose built and have a lot of intensity built into itty bitty bodies. So something to keep in mind. So look into trainers, see what trainers are saying. There may or may not be a whole lot of information as far as opinion. I'm going after the opinion, not how to train. Yeah, you want to know how, but when you're deciding if this is the right kind of dog, really look into the opinions. Is there a lot of controversy into training this dog and how to train this dog? That's going to really kind of clue you in. Are you willing to navigate the controversy? Are you willing to put this? This goes back to our willing. Are you willing to work through this? Does that make sense? Looks like Shih Tzus, there's not a whole lot of controversy on training them, so we can move on. Let's see. Let's go back to Canva. All right. So now we're going to look into vet care, doggy daycare, what groomers, what do they have to say about this breed of dog? Now, vets are, you're basically looking into, when you're looking into vets, you're looking into, I appreciate the clarity of why you're looking for other people's opinions. That made a lot of sense. Great. I'm so glad. Thank you for that feedback. Because I really want the critical thinking of why do we want this dog and are we willing to work with this breed of dog. Like, what is going on? What is happening? So when we're looking into vet care, we're looking into, hey, is there a local vet, and are they open? Are they full? Are they booked? Are they available to take care of the dog? How healthy is the dog is one of the things we're going to be looking into, because if you start looking into, and let's go back to our web browser. And there we go. So we're just gonna do vet care or Shih Tzus. And yes, I type loud. I'm sorry. So here we go. How to care for Shih Tzus. We'll just click on this one. Let's see. It's talking about the spunky Shih Tzu. An indoor dog that doesn't do well in heat. Okay, here we go. This is where we're going. May have a tendency to bark excessively. Can be aggressive, fearful, snappy if not socialized properly. I'm gonna put this out there. This is pretty much true of every dog. This one right here. This right here. This is any dog. Just gonna put that out there. And if you are not willing to work on that, maybe you shouldn't get a dog. Maybe you should get a fish. All right, moving on. Can be difficult to house train. Can attest to this. Fragile and easily injured due to small size. Now, what's interesting about the fragility, when I've done other research, comparatively to other small breeds of dogs, they actually have a hardier bone structure, which is one of the reasons why they're more comfortable around kids and are more kid friendly. Whereas Chihuahuas, Pomeranians, Pekingese, they're not as great with kids. They don't like kids. They're more fearful. Their bone structures are lighter and more they want to protect those bones. They're aware of how much lighter they are and how much more fragile. So they get more defensive around kids, where Shih Tzus are a little bit more hardy. Bichon Frise are a little bit more hardy, and so they do better with kids. So sometimes it's not about the size of the dog, it's about the hardiness of the dog, and they're wanting to protect themselves. But it's still important to keep in mind that they are still small and they are still fragile. So even though they're more hardy in comparison to, say, a Chihuahua, they're still a small dog. Like, let's keep that real. Needs frequent attention. Okay. All right. Shih Tzu health. Talks about genetic. They're prone to dental disease, which we can attest. They don't like to chew on bones, so they're not natural chewers. So that's one of the reasons why they can be prone to health. They're prone to infections, bacterial or viral, according to this. They're prone to obesity. Interesting. Parasites. They're talking about spay and noodle, blah, blah, blah. Liver problems. Okay. Bone and joint problems. I'm skimming. If you're really looking into this breed, you know what? You need to take time and you need to read through more thoroughly. Eye problems, which I know we actually, when we're grooming Joy, I keep eye solution because of stuff. They have buggy eyes, so they can they're prone to glaucoma, dry eye, cataracts, so they can go blind, kidney disease, Cushing's disease. You don't think you've ever seen an overweight Shih Tzu? I have. Not many. I thought that was interesting. Allergies. They're really prone to allergies, which we can attest. She's had food allergies and flea allergies. It can be kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. So yeah, like, they've got a lot of health issues. Here we go. We got care, what to watch for. So this is very helpful. So they're not the healthiest breed of dog, is what we're learning. So that's something to keep in mind. Some of these things are manageable. Some of these things are going to be expensive. Are you willing to pay for that? Are you willing to do the treatments for that? Let's get back to the willing. Are you willing to spend the money on that if need be? So that's something to consider. Are you willing to socialize them so they're not fearful? Are you willing to work on them not being so possessive? Because Velcro dogs tend to be possessive dog. Doesn't matter what breed, they can get possessive. So are you willing to work with them on that? They're obviously quirky. So we're gonna that keeps coming up. Now we're gonna move on to, I think we're gonna groomers. We're gonna look into groomers. So one of the things that almost was a deal breaker for getting Joy, I am not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you the story of why we got Joy. So we used to have a dog, Arwen, who turned out to not be a good fit for our family. She was Great Pyrenees. She is a Great Pyrenees. She's a lovely dog. She's with my mama, which is, my mama's in the chat. Hi, Mom. So Arwen was 80 pounds of bull bully, and she doesn't give a whole lot of physical cues. She's very subtle in her body language. And with small kids, it wasn't good for her to be possessive of food. And we decided, since we have 4 kids, that it was best for her. And she was getting stressed out because of the arrangements we were having to make sure that our kids were safe while she ate her food. It was stressing her out. There was a lot more going into it, but we decided to rehome her with my parents, and she has flourished. She's happy. Living her best life. I kid you not, my mother spoils this dog. Anyways, so my daughter, Arwen was really kind of her dog. And hi, Mom. See, she's in the chat, Beth. Also, Sweet Urban Limit is her other YouTube thing. I think she was in here under that name a minute ago. Anyways, so this is hard to talk about, by the way. Anytime you have to rehome a dog, it's hard. But it does happen, and don't let anybody make you feel guilty if you need to do it, if it's what's right and safe for the dog and for your family, okay? I understand that sometimes people are being booty munches and just being irresponsible and dumping their dog. I'm not talking about that. But we had to rehome Arwen because she wasn't happy with our family, and there were some safety concerns with our children, with food with her. And my daughter really loved Arwen, and Arwen was really kind of her dog. It wasn't supposed to be that way, but they kind of bonded. Well, to kind of get over the heartbreak of Arwen, we discussed getting her own dog. And my husband suggested, what about a Shih Tzu? Now, I have to confess, I was terrified. I'm not afraid of dogs. Been bit by a German Shepherd, don't care. But I was afraid of Shih Tzus because when I was a small child, there was one in the neighborhood who would chase us and bark across the street, and he was a little terror. So yeah. And then an ex-boyfriend, he had one, and she was a little mean thing. So those 2 dogs, which were pretty much my experience, kind of made me not like that type of dog. But my husband grew up with one, Cuddles, and Cuddles was a fabulous family dog. And my husband was like, well, what about a Shih Tzu? They're actually really good family dogs. And he doesn't like dogs. So the fact that he was, kind of suggesting a certain breed made me take notice and maybe go, okay, maybe I should take this seriously. So that's how we kind of landed on. But while I was researching into getting our daughter a dog and researching into the breeds, yeah, they were probably both outliers, which there will be with every breed of dog. Okay. I started looking into grooming needs because let's just face it, these dogs need a lot of care. So we're gonna, And I started finding, you see these videos with these pampered dogs, but then you get to the ones, this may be the one that I saw, actually. Let's see, we're just gonna mute that. Yeah, this is what I saw. This girl's channel. Now, this is one of the videos I did watch, but she does a lot of, she's showing all the eye goop and all this nasty stuff. This was informative and interesting. Thanks. Well, thanks, Sherry, for stopping in. You don't mean to distract. I'm working on my computer and doing stuff on my phone too. That's why the comments are on both your personal and your, well, it's fine. I think it's hilarious. Anyways, I appreciate the view, Mom. I appreciate the view. But this one's not really, I think this is a dog that she typically grooms and whatnot, but she really, on her channel, she has videos where she's dealing with Shih Tzus that have not been properly brushed, even though the owner thinks that they're brushing them properly. And she has to demat them. And that's a process. And it's kind of grueling. And it kind of made me go, I don't know if I want to do this. And we were, but I had to evaluate. I had to stop and go, am I willing to pay or do the work, groom myself, buy the tools, learn how to use the tools, and groom the dog myself, or pay for it to be done? Also, even if you're planning on having a dog professionally groomed, you still need to do exposure, and you still need to handle them and teach them handling so that they're not the dog that's snarling and growling and biting and miserable at the groomers. We want the groomers to be an enjoyable experience. So was I willing to expose her to the scissors close to her eyes, because their fur will grow like this straight into their eye. Their ears, their fur, they have fur in their ears. You have to pluck certain fur out of their ear. That's not fun. So I had to evaluate, was I willing to do this? Was I willing to pay for it to be done? Those are things that, and the longer the fur that you let it grow on the Shih Tzu, the more it needs to be brushed. And the more time it takes. Am I willing to spend the time on it? Is my daughter, which my daughter was she was 5. So, 4 going on 5? 5 going on 6? How old was she? I don't remember. She was little. She's 9 now. And she does a great job brushing Joy. Let me just, let me put this, but I had to be the one to do it at first, it's like that, even though the dog was for her, she's still my responsibility. So my daughter, we fully believe, is a Shih Tzu person. Like, we believe like that just based on my daughter's personality, the personality of the dog, they click, they align. But, I'm still the mama, and I still have to pay. And I still have to take the time to do it. And I still have to make sure it's all done, whether it's me, her, or the groomer. Am I willing to do it? Apparently I am, even though I am not a Shih Tzu person. Like this, I will probably never, as much as I love Joy, and I think Joy is fabulous. Like, I love her quirky personality. I hate grooming. She says she's a Shih Tzu person. Of course she does. Is she watching? Hi, Lil. I like brushing dogs. I do. But I would rather deal with a shedding dog. Like, real talk. I would rather brush a Great Pyrenees and deal with the shedding of a Great Pyrenees than brush a little 10-pound Shih Tzu. I don't enjoy it. But I love Joy, and I'm willing to do it. Do you see what I'm saying when we get back to the, do you see what I'm saying when I talk about the 4 W's? And I talk about What are you willing to do? The fur. Yeah, my husband's really not willing to deal with the shedding. So that's something to consider. All right. Last point. So, also make sure you have these resources in your community. Okay. So, sometimes it can be really hard to find a groomer. We have not found a groomer locally that our vet recommends. He's actually very dissatisfied and he's actually impressed with the job that I do grooming Joy at home. And he gave me a few pointers because I'm not a professional, which I gladly took. But, you know, make sure that you have the resources in your community. Do you have the kind of vet care in your community? Whether it's trainers, groomers, vets, sporting events. If you're getting a sporting dog, you want to make sure that that's there. Great points. A lot of heartache can be avoided if we answer these questions honestly. Yes, that is the whole point. Like, let's ask ourselves these questions because there's nothing wrong with me going, you know what? I'm not a Shih Tzu person. I'm just not. But I'm willing to be for my daughter, which goes back to, oh, wait, hold on. Last point. This doesn't really convey with, yeah, you deal with all the Sorry, Mom. Make sure you can legally have a breed of dog wherever you live, or you can, if you rent, make sure that your landlord permits dogs. So sometimes you can't have one because there's a no pet policy. So, or a size or a breed restriction. Look into that before you settle. So for Shih Tzus, there shouldn't be any laws or countries banning them. It should just be check with your landlord, okay? I have seen too many times on Facebook. I've seen the Facebook post, I got this cute puppy, but my landlord won't let me keep them, and now I have to rehome them after 6 weeks. Okay, you just bonded with this poor baby, and now you have to rehome them, okay? You didn't think that one through. There's a difference between, you know what, things didn't work out, which honestly, I'm going to own up. I made some missteps in my training with Arwen. And there was a lot of, that was back in the day of when Arwen was a puppy. That was back in the day of don't snuggle with your dog. Be the alpha. I am totally against alpha dog training. I'm going to call it out right now. It's BS. Which, by the way, the author of the original paper about alpha dog training, he actually disproved his own theory years ago and has spent a long time trying to undo the damage of that first paper. So just so you know, alpha dog theory has been disproven and retracted by the original author. Anyways, I made some missteps with Arwen, and because I made the missteps, she had to be rehomed. If I had really thought these things through years ago, I could have avoided the heartache, possibly. Now, my dad has a wonderful companion, like Arwen is his buddy, like, so it worked out in the end, but I don't want you going through this, okay? I don't want you to go through the rehoming thing. It's not fun. But if you have to do it, it's okay. But the to my point of, if you get a dog and you didn't check your rent agreement to make sure that your landlord allows dogs, that's a pretty big misstep, okay? That one could have been prevented real easily, okay? So let's not do that. Let's be smart. So write down. So now that we've talked about Shih Tzus, let's see if this breed aligns with your 4Ws, because your 4Ws answers are going to be different than mine. Yes, Arwen is the sweetest girl. They're going to be different. Your who is going to be different. Your where is going to be different. Your why is going to be different. Why we wanted a companion, why we got a Shih Tzu. We wanted a companion for my daughter. We wanted a little cuddle bug lap dog that was well suited. We wanted a medium to low energy dog for her. And Joy aligns with my daughter. The alignment is there. And they will just sit and snuggle while my daughter is crocheting on the sofa and just have a good time. And they are happy doing that. And then when my daughter goes and checks the chickens, Joy goes with her and they just have a good time. Sweet giant floofy girl. Yes, she is a floof. Oh my gosh. Arwen is a mess. I love her. So, you know, the why, we answered that for us. We wanted a companion for my daughter. The who, for my daughter. And we also thought about who else is living in the house. My husband has dog allergies. That was another reason why, Arwen was not a good companion, is she triggered my husband's allergies very, very badly. And it was unbearable for him to live. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, you shouldn't get rid of a dog just because of allergies. Allergies are not a joke, and people can die from allergic reactions. So do not let anyone shame you. So if you need that's another thing, is Shih Tzus are considered hypoallergenic because they don't shed, they don't have the same type of dander, they don't have the same type of saliva. So, so we answered the why, the who, the where. She sleeps in my daughter's room. We're home all the time, so she's good. We make sure that when we leave, she's in her crate. That's kind of how we keep her house broken. And we make sure her fur is short because where we live, it gets hot in the summertime. And we learned from looking into vet care that Shih Tzus overheat. So you see how we're working backwards. We're reverse engineering. And then the willing. I was willing to put in the care that this dog needs. Even though she's not my kind of dog, because of who she was for and why, and because I had the time and I was willing, this is why Joy worked for us. We may never get another Shih Tzu. She may be my last one. My daughter may end up with a bunch throughout her life. We'll see. So again, does this breed align with your W's? And then we're coming to the should you go the breeder or the adoption route? The 4 W's will actually help you figure that out. And I just skipped a thing. Just research. Not all rescues are actually rescues. Some are actually fronts for puppy mills because they've caught on to the mantra of adopt, don't shop. I understand that this is actually a hotly debated topic. A lot of trainers will only go with purebred dogs from heritage or what they call responsible breeders. And they get very particular about health checks and genealogies and things like that, which there is a lot of merit to it. But my thing is, are they a responsible breeder? And certain breeds of dogs, like a Shih Tzu, you don't have to be as much into the heritage breeding. You just need to make sure they're breeding good well-temperamented dogs that aren't neurotic and don't have health issues. Like that's what you're looking for. So you don't have to be as picky. Now, when you start getting into other breeds, even golden retrievers, some golden retrievers are fielding dogs and some are bred to be companion dogs. They are not the same line. Okay? Just saying. So again, just look into responsible breeders. Let's see. I have a website that I absolutely love. Mr. Editor Man can drop it in the chat. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to our web browser. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope this is actually helpful in helping you decide. But I love this website. It's a Good Dog. And they're great for if you're looking for a breeder. or if you're looking for a rescue, because they actually have standards. You can explore breeds. So here you go. You have breeders or you have shelters. You can put what city you want. So if you're in Arizona, yeah, that one. This link. Seattle, Washington, like you can put your city, your zip code or whatever. Yeah, so go to gooddog.com. We're in the greater Metro Atlanta, so I would put Metro Atlanta. So these are shelters in our area. And basically, Good Dog has a rating system, and they will take off breeders and shelters if they're not responsible. So they're a really good way to make sure that you are working with a legitimate breeder, a legitimate rescue. Because the biggest thing I want to encourage you is stay away from puppy mills. There's so much, and don't go to malls. Just don't, because even if you're going, oh, well, that dog needs to be rescued from the pet store, another puppy will be in that pet store to replace it. And supply and demand applies very greatly. So if we want to stop puppy mills, we need to stop funding them. And sometimes they euthanize them, and sometimes those dogs end up in shelters. So it's the hard truth, but if we want that to stop, we gotta stop funding them. So don't get a puppy from the mall. Just don't do it. And don't fund the puppy mill. Because they if you look into news footage into puppy mills, they are horrific situations. Those people only care about making money. Good breeders, whether they're heritage breeders or not, and a lot of backyard breeders can kind of start getting into the puppy mill mindset of where they only care about the puppy. They don't care about the well-being of the parents. They're just in it. But most dogs, and dog breeders, and you can really get a feel for let's see. Let's do Shih Tzu. There we go. So 40 available pups, 40 plus certified breeders. You can do location, price, transportation, gender, color. You can sort if you want. You can sort by price. This star right here, this little badge, means that they are a very good breeder by their standards. They exceed Good Dogs standards. So if they're on there, they're likely a good breeder. But if they have that badge, they're extra good. Okay. And again, this isn't 100% guaranteed. This is just a resource that can help you figure it out. Look at the little brown babies. Oh my goodness. Oh, that one's kind of scary looking to me. I ain't gonna lie. That one's adorable. That one is, I don't know. I might have nightmares. Anyways, sorry, that was really mean. If you think that dog is cute, you go for it. You do you, boo. But you can click on the dog. So, and then you can read the dog's profile about Leonardo, how old. Yeah, I'm a puppy person. I think all puppies are cute. So the color is blue and white, raised by Sheena at Anderson Farms Kennels. She's a preferred breeder. Has a good response time, has 6 verified stories. It says that he'll be ready on June 6th. Yeah. So you can, let's see. And this is where I start Facebook stalking. I will the website is different than I remember. Did they update? Okay, so there's his parents, Odin. This is about him. So she has a profile. Rose. So that's another thing is look at the care that is crafted into the look into the details. Look into, you can start Facebook stalking the breeders, you can look into reviews, that kind of stuff. That's what you want to do is you want to get a feel because puppy mills, they won't let you see behind the curtain. Irresponsible breeders, also known as backyard breeders, they don't want you seeing it looks like he got zapped. He got knocked out by Thor's hammer. That's funny. You made me lose my train of thought. Thank you, mister. Backyard breeders, irresponsible breeders, they won't let you see the mom and dad. They'll hide temperament things. They'll lie about things. You really want to build a relationship with your breeder. You really want to see transparency. If you're going through a breeder, same thing with rescues. You want that transparency. You want they'll take the dog back if there's something wrong or if you need to rehome, they want the dog back. Responsible breeders always want the dog. They always want their baby back. They don't want their dog to end up in a shelter. I've heard stories about breeders who lived in Sweden and they lost contact with an owner that they sold one of their puppies to 11 years prior. And they went on to the Facebook groups and they started looking for this dog in Canada. And they found it and had been put in the shelter. And they went and they got this dog back. And they traveled across the globe to get this dog. So a lot of times when you start getting into Clover, our German healer puppy, the little puppy napping, that you can barely see her ear. Oh, well, she's right there. I have been told by the breeder, she comes back to me if there's anything, any issues, she comes back to me. She's family. She is very much stressing this dog comes back to me for any reason. Actually, her grandma had to go back to her. And so that's kind of a whole story. And that's how we ended up that's how part of Clover's story is her grandmother had to go back to the breeder for a short time. And then she found her a different home. So look into those things. So when you're looking, look into that. And she ain't going back. That's right. She's not going back. You're right. She's amazing. Joy's amazing too. We love her. So make sure your rescue, make sure, and this is also your why. Are you wanting a dog to help a dog in need? Rescue's your route. If you're wanting to rescue. Now, if you start looking into dog breeds and you realize that no dog breed aligns with you, that why is not necessarily good enough. If you can't handle anything about the dog, it's okay to not be a dog person. It's okay to love dogs from afar. Just why don't you donate? Whether it's money, resources, towels, blankets, toys. Time. Go walk a dog, or go sit in the kennel, go volunteer your time. If you're not sure you're a dog person, fostering is a great time. That's also another thing is if you want to determine if you're that kind of dog person, fostering is a great way to see if you're gonna align with that. If you're unsure, you could foster a Shih Tzu. Just keep in mind that a lot of times breed specific rescues can be a lot pickier than going with a breeder. It can be a more deal, but just make sure that they align with you. So dump the guilt trip, go the route that's right you. I had this beautiful moment and I blew it. Dump the guilt trip. Go the route that is right for you. Be patient. It can take time to find the right breed of dog and the right dog for you. Have faith. It took over a year to find Miss Clover. It only took a few months to find Miss Joy. It took a few months to find Hannah. But you just stick with me. We got this. Peace out, people.